I am the unified heavyweight champion of the world.
Quick video while Dennis gets here. He's late, it's not like him. I saw something last night. Whyte on Sky talking to Johnny, Company Man of the Year Nelson, and an 18-minute video saying that Matchroom have got to deliver. I agree with him on that wholeheartedly. I think what's gone on in the last December, January and first week in February is nothing short of a scandalous and a travesty. What's happening with heavyweight division. You've got 4 top fighters there: Joshua Wilder, Tyson Fury, Whyte. You could maybe throw... No, you couldn't throw Ortiz into the mix because he's a bogeyman, isn't he? But you've got them 4 fighters there, and I agree with Whyte. Them 4 fighters can fight each other, can't they? Right? They can fight each other, but and I mean, you've got a certain person saying what he wants to fight the fight, doesn't he? In fact, he did an interview with Kugan Kasser, and he said, and I quote, "I am..." There you go, you've just heard it yourself there. Anthony Joshua. He said, "I'm begging for the fight. I'm begging. Am I begging? Yeah, I'm begging." And you know, Anthony Joshua, you know, he went on to say, they said, "Do you want the fight, Anthony Joshua?" And he said, there you go, you just heard that. He said, "I want it 100%, 100%. Like you were a bad boy yardie, talking like a yardie. You're from Watford, mate. Watford. You are not a yardie. Whyte is a yardie. He's born in Jamaica. He's a full-blooded yardie. That means if you don't... That means if you ever owe him some money and you don't pay, you know, it's on top for you." But you know, looking at it like I'm doing at the moment, from the outside looking in, Tyson Fury against Wilder, it's not signed, is it? It's not signed. They said it was done in a heartbeat, the Wilder Fury fight. Well, this one's not done in a heartbeat, is it? So somebody's dragging their heels. So why don't all 4 of them just crack on and fight each other? Why don't they do it? Crack on and just have round robins, fight each other 2 or 3 times, but keep it going. They're all great fights. They're all going to end up multi-millionaires. They're all going to end up multi-sufli, swimming in chochai, aren't they? That's what they're going to do. They're going to end up with millions. So just crack on. If you lose, don't you? At least you lose with a bit of pride, don't you? And I think that all of them could live with that. But Joshua's trying to create this sense of invincibility. But I think now it's got to the stage where with Joshua it's all about business. You hear it? I'm about business, I'm about business. Yeah, we know you're about business. Joshua's calling out people. Who does he call out on one of them videos? He says, "I want Wilder, then Fury, then Whyte, or anybody else in the top 5. Now, is Jarrell Miller in the top 5? No, he just scrapes into the top 10. And that's only because Oscar De La Hoya in the last few months bumped him into top 10 rankings with Ring Magazine. Is he number 9 or number 10? that proves that they had him as the plan B in case Dillian Whyte messed them about. And I don't think Dillian Whyte messed them about, they just lowballed him, didn't they? Dillian Whyte does massive numbers on internet. He does good pay-per-view numbers. They had a good fight the first time till he got injured. So why don't they just show Dillian Whyte a bit of respect? Why is Eddie Hearn yet again putting Dillian Whyte's business all over internet about purse money and this and that? Stuff like that should be private. So as far as I'm concerned, Dillian Whyte, if he keeps winning, they're going to have to go pay him properly. But I think for Matchroom, they always want to look for an angle to get another pay-per-view, then another. It's like that film, innit? Another 48 hours. Then yet another 48 hours, and yet again, yet another 48 hours. It just goes on and on and on. A bit like Fast and Furious. It's happening on 9 or 10. A bit like Rocky. They've had 8 films, haven't they? Sliced alone with Rocky franchise. It just goes on and on and on and on, trying to get mileage out of it and trying to con you, the public. That's my opinion. Conning the public. Joshua has been calling out Wilder. If you look on the internet, you say, Wilder, where you at? He said that after Vladimir fight, after Takam, after Parker, after Povetkin, and then he's calling Whyte out and getting in ring with Whyte after he beat Chisora. What? And where do they go? They end up with Miller, and then they have to spin it behind the scenes. They have to feed all of us a load of rubbish. Joshua's getting £25 million sterling to fight. And then there's an upside to that. To fight Miller, who is shockingly poor. The guy is poor. He's about 6 stone overweight. He's poor. He's not beat anybody who was any good. His best win is Thomas Adamek, a career light heavyweight, 42-year-old, in his 43rd year. And they're going to try and sell it now as Miller's from New York, and Eddie Hearn keeps saying Miller's our man, he's from New York and he's got a big mouth, and he said something bad about Joshua. He wants to take his mum out. Big mouth, from New York, wants to take his mum out. He's the bad guy, the villain. Joshua's going to be the guy who's going to silence the big bad guy from the herd from New York. And he also has got an extra incentive to fill him in because he said he wants to take his mum out. He's the good guy. Good versus bad. Good versus evil. And that's how the script's going to be. And you're going to have Johnny Nelson, they're going to wheel him out saying he's undefeated. He's up for this. Johnny Nelson compared Takam to Holyfield and George Foreman. So what's he going to compare Miller to? He's going to compare him to Butterbean with an afro. Well, he is, isn't he? Butterbean with an afro. It's shocking, shocking, shocking. Can you imagine Don King looking at all this now, one of the great promoters? They need somebody like Donald Trump to get hold of boxing and shake it up to the core, because it's just going from bad to worse. But I saw Dillian Whyte on Sky talking to Johnny Nelson, and he's saying that him and Tyson, you know, could fight. So is that in pipeline? I mean, Dillian Whyte, if he fights Tyson Fury, that would be massive. That would be a proper curveball, wouldn't it, for Eddie Hearn? Dillian Whyte to go on BT Sport and fight Tyson Fury instead of Tyson fighting Wilder. Because Dillian started bigging Tyson up, talking about Laniel and stuff like that. Is he trying to play the game? They've all got the little things going on, haven't they? And no doubt Dillian Whyte, Tyson, Frank Warren and Dillian's team, they're probably all talking behind the scenes, and they're probably all ganging up on it, poor little Eddie and the Silver Spoon boy. I can imagine it, because what's going on in boxing now is being shook to the core, but nobody dare come out and say anything, because they all want to work with him, don't they? I don't want to work with Eddie Hearn, so I'll come out and I'll say it. He's had his chance to come on my channel. We could do it. I've even bought this to get Eddie Hearn. Eddie, we've got this. Frank Smith with the spots. I know you're watching. We invested in this. 13 quid in sale. And kept the invoice for the taxman, accountant, so we can get it back. We bought this, you know why? So we can get Eddie Hearn on Bluetooth and I can ask him these questions here. Just 10 questions, that's all, 10. Just 10 questions, 20 minutes of your time, Eddie. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? It's a bit like Robert De Niro in that film Casino, isn't it? Sam Ace Rothstein. Sam Ace Rothstein, his name. And he wants to get that guy from Commission, doesn't he? Las Vegas Gaming Commission. He wants to get him on his channel, doesn't he? But he swerves it, doesn't he? You know, when people swerve the truth, they don't want to, they can't face it, can they? It just proves it that Eddie Hearn's a coward. All these people that he does these interviews with, if you ask him one question that he don't like, you know you'll not get access to him again. And Eddie Hearn does views, doesn't he? And that's what it all boils down to, money. You've got people in the media, they're frightened to ask the proper questions. Frightened. Because they lose access and then they lose their livelihoods. And that's just how it's going, isn't it? I'm fortunate, very, very fortunate in my life that I'll never put myself in that situation. But I would like to get Eddie on channel. I'd even put him on channel, and do you know what I'd do? I'd put a couple of songs on so copyright makes it so we don't get paid for ads. I'd even swear on it. I'd tell him what I think as well. First time he stepped out of line, I won't just say that. I'd tell him what I really think. I said, this is what I think. I think you're ripping fans off. I think you're abusing it. I think you're dragging the Joshua situation out. Nobody's ever seen a runner shocking fights like this what Joshua's having. These fights are shocking. He's going for his 7th or is it 8th fight at this level, at world level. And his best win's a guy in his 42nd year, 18-month on settee. He just beat a guy who were in his 40th year, Povetkin. Now he's fighting Miller, an overweight guy who's beat no one. But he's doing it in America. Do you know why? Because they daren't put it on at Wembley, dare they? Do you know why? Backlash from you fans. Now the only people I see who are trying to stick up for Eddie Hearn in media, those that are staying silent about this, are doing it as a way of saying this is wrong. This is wrong. I saw Trish Dixon's story. He was trying to put spin on it. He tried to make out he's a man of the people, but deep down he didn't really say what he is saying behind the scenes. Like what I'm saying. I'm saying Joshua is frightened to lose because he can keep this going on. If you can earn, I mean, I'm hearing stories that Joshua now, with all his things that he's got going on, you know, he's doing about £200,000 a day and £1.4 million a week, with all the stuff that's going on in the background and the 2 fights that he's having a year. So if you're on £1.5 million per week, you've got a short window to get that. You've probably got another 10 years. He could probably be a billionaire with investments. That's Joshua's target. His words, he did say it, didn't he? I want to be a billionaire. Amongst other things that he said, which we won't go into. But we know what's going on, don't we? It's nothing short of scandalous. Miller fight, and then who after that? Could have a rematch with Miller. Then it's going to be IBF Pulev. We got to fight our mandatories. They might even fight Pulev in Bulgaria. Go on a world tour. Because they won't be able to fight Pulev in England, would they? Why not just pay Pulev step aside money and fight Tyson, Wilder or Whyte? Why not fight Anthony Joshua? Luis Ortiz. You wouldn't dare mention his name when you're at Matchroom. So yeah, I have a bee in my bonnet about the heavyweight situation at the moment. I think that there's too many people, too many cooks. This is one of Dennis's sayings. I know I always refer to Dennis, don't I? Because I learned off him, didn't I, coming up last 4 years, but too many cooks spoiled the broth. That's what Dennis used to say to me all the time. For instance, if we had a meeting and there were too many people talking, I'd always talk over everybody because I'm arrogant, aren't I, and daft at times and passionate, but Dennis had got too many cooks spoil the broth. And that's what you've got here. You've got the big broth going on like that, and you've got everybody putting the spoon in. If you've got a big broth over your stove, you've got one man stirring it so the sauce doesn't stick, or so it doesn't stick to the side. But when you've got other people trying to stir it, you're all getting it way with each other. And that's what I think's happening. You've got Joshua. I think he's a fighting man, but I think he's also got people in his team that are looking out for themselves. They're thinking, for example, McCracken. If he can get 10% of 50 million. Are you here, Den? Den? I've sent you it. Nicholas sent it. You're on WhatsApp. Yeah. Check your WhatsApp. Hey? Yeah. It's you know what it is. Oh, I'm filming now, so I'll come outside, yeah? Let me come outside and talk to you, yeah? 2 secs. So basically, that's basically it, really. The heavyweight division's a shambles, but we've got Dennis here now, so we're going to sort him out because he's been here before, but he's got a memory like a sieve. So peace out. Sorry to end this interview, but we're going to catch up with this in next half an hour and I get Dennis in the hot seat in the GT Force chair. Shout out to Justin at the Tea Leaf Company and K Official. Alright, peace. Nicola!
Do you want to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world?